Before you were born, decisions were already being made, decisions that would shape everything. Your parents had 9 months, but also 480 days. Parental leave, paid, split however they wanted. This isn't a luxury here. It's expected. The hospital is clean, modern, free. No bills waiting after birth, no insurance forms, just arrival. Sweden. Population 10 million. Long winters, short summers. A country that does things differently. This is what it's like. From the first breath to the last bicycle ride at 80. You're 2 days old. Already the routine begins. The hospital room is quiet, efficient. A midwife checks in every few hours. New parents get classes before leaving. How to bathe a baby, how to swaddle, what to watch for. Nothing is assumed. Home now. A small apartment, maybe in Stockholm, maybe Gothenburg, maybe a suburb. Doesn't matter much. The system is the same everywhere. Parental leave starts immediately. Not just mom, dad too, or the other parent. 18 months of paid time guaranteed by law. Most families split it. Some months for one, some for the other. The goal? Both parents bond. Both parents exhausted equally. The apartment is warm despite the snow outside. February means darkness until 8 a.m, sunset by 4 p.m. But inside, there's light. Lots of candles. Swedes burn more candles per capita than almost anywhere on Earth. It's not romantic. It's survival. Fika happens even now. Parents holding a newborn. Coffee going cold on the table. A cinnamon bun barely touched. This word, fika, it'll follow this life everywhere. 3 months pass. The baby goes to BVC, Barnevord Central. Free health checkups. A nurse tracks weight, height, development. Vaccines, no charge, no co-pays, no questioning whether to afford it. Just care. The rhythm of Swedish parenting sets in. Naps outside, even in winter. Babies bundled in strollers, parked on balconies or in gardens. The cold air is believed to help them sleep better, fight off sickness. It looks shocking to outsiders. To Swedes, it's science. Playground visits start early. Every neighbourhood has one. Swings, slides, climbing structures. Parents cluster nearby, polite but not intrusive. Small talk maybe, or silence. Both are acceptable. 1-year-old now. Walking, barely. Förskola, preschool is next. Waiting lists can be long in cities, but it's affordable. A few hundred kroner a month subsidised by the state. The goal isn't just childcare, it's socialisation, equality, preparation. The Förskola teacher greets each child by name. Inside, the rooms are bright, filled with wooden toys, IKEA furniture obviously, everything designed for small hands, small bodies. Learning starts immediately, but not the way some countries do it. No pressure, no testing, just play. Structured play, creative play, outdoor play. Even in winter, the children go outside, thick snowsuits, mittens, boots. There's no bad weather, only bad clothing. The Swedish motto. Fika time at Förskola. Tiny chairs, tiny cups, milk and fruit. The ritual being taught early. Sit together, share space, take a break. Language develops. Swedish first, obviously, but English seeps in early. Through TV shows, music, YouTube. Cartoons aren't dubbed here, just subtitled. Even kids who can't read yet start picking up English sounds. 3 years old. Personality emerging now. The teachers notice everything. Sweden doesn't track kids into smart or slow categories, but they watch. Any delays? Special support arrives fast, no stigma attached. The concept of lagom starts here without being named. Not too much, not too little. Just right. Don't brag, don't boast. Share toys, take turns, stand in line. The invisible rules of Swedish society absorbed through play. Birthday parties happen. Usually at home, sometimes at a playground, simple. Cake, games, maybe a piñata. Borrowed from other cultures but adopted enthusiastically. Parents stay for the whole party. Drop-offs aren't really a thing yet. Nature trips begin. Förskola takes the children into the forest, to lakes, to parks. Allemansrätten, the right to roam, means almost all nature is accessible. Private land, public land, doesn't matter much. Walk, explore, camp. Just don't disturb, don't destroy. Children learn to identify berries. Which ones are safe, which aren't. How to respect animals. How to leave no trace. This isn't a class, it's culture. 5 years old. Förskoleklass, the transition year before real school. Still playful, but more structured. Letters appear. Numbers show up. But pressure, still low. Meanwhile, life outside Foscola continues. Families take walks, long walks. Swedes walk everywhere, even with small children. Strollers built for terrain, thick wheels, suspension. These aren't mall strollers. These are all-terrain vehicles. Summer arrives. Finally. The transformation is dramatic. June means sunlight until 10 p.m, sometimes later. Children stay outside until they collapse from exhaustion. Playgrounds full until 9, 10 p.m. Parents sitting on benches with thermoses of coffee chatting in the extended golden hour. Midsummer happens, the biggest celebration of the year. Flower crowns, dancing around a maypole, singing songs. Families gather at summer cottages, stuga if they have them. Lakes, forests, mosquitoes, grilling. The Sweden everyone imagines, but only for 8 weeks. Then it's back. August. School starts. You're 6 now. First day of real school, grundskola. The building is modern usually, bright, well maintained. Public schools are the norm. Private schools exist but aren't considered better necessarily. The system is designed to be equal. Walking or biking to school. Even at 6, Swedish children are expected to be independent early. Parents might walk with them the first week, then it's solo. The streets are safe. Drivers expect children. Infrastructure supports it. The classroom is casual. Teachers use first names, no uniforms. Kids sit on the floor, sometimes. The hierarchy is flat, even here. Subjects begin, Swedish, math, English, science, but also music, art, PE, woodworking, home economics. The goal is well-rounded humans, not specialists. Homework exists but isn't overwhelming. An hour, maybe less. The emphasis is on learning during school hours, not taking work home. Childhood matters. Lunch is served, free, in a cafeteria. A balanced meal, protein, vegetables, bread, milk. Not always delicious, often the subject of complaints, but nutritious. Every child eats the same thing. Equality again. Recess happens multiple times. Outdoor recess. Even in rain, even in snow. The children learn to layer clothing. Wool-based layers. Waterproof shells. Being cold isn't an excuse. Fika continues, though now it's called melon mall. A snack. Fruit. Maybe a small sandwich. The ritual persists. 8 years old. Friendships solidify. Birthday parties become sleepovers. Pizza, candy, movies. Swedish children are allowed scary movies earlier than in some countries. Trust in their ability to handle things. Independence grows. Taking the bus alone. Going to a friend's house across the neighbourhood. Biking to the library. Parental supervision is looser here. The culture assumes children are capable. Sports start. Football, soccer, ice hockey, floorball, swimming. Clubs are affordable, sometimes free. The goal isn't to create professional athletes, it's to keep kids active, social, healthy. Screen time is negotiated. Swedish parents worry about it like everywhere, but they also grew up with liberal attitudes. Balance, not restriction. Minecraft, YouTube, gaming, all normal. English improves rapidly. By age 8, many Swedish children can hold basic conversations in English. By 10, they're fluent. The school system teaches it, but pop culture reinforces it. American movies, British YouTubers, video games. Sweden doesn't dub, it's subtitles. 10 years old. Puberty looms. The school prepares. Sex education starts here, frank and detailed. Bodies, consent, puberty, menstruation, reproduction. No giggling from teachers. No shame, just facts. Parents might squirm, but the school doesn't. The result? Swedish teens have some of the lowest teen pregnancy rates in the world, high contraceptive use, and better communication about sex. Meanwhile, seasonal depression starts to show. November means 7 hours of daylight. December means less. Some children struggle. Light therapy lamps appear in schools. Vitamin D supplements are common. The country knows its weakness. Lucia arrives on December 13th. A girl, or sometimes a boy now, chosen to wear a crown of candles, lead a procession, sing songs, a celebration of light in the darkest time. Schools participate, churches participate, even workplaces. Christmas comes, julbord, a feast of pickled herring, meatballs, ham, sausages, cheeses. Families gather. Presents on Christmas Eve, not Christmas morning. Donald Duck airs at 3 p.m. Everyone watches. It's tradition, inexplicable but sacred. 13 years old, teenage years begin. Högstadiet, upper primary school, grades 7 to 9. Suddenly, independence explodes, taking the train to the city centre, meeting friends at the mall, going to movies without parents. Swedish teens are given freedom early, expected to handle it. Dating starts awkwardly. School dances, maybe. Texting, Snapchat, Instagram. Swedish teens are reserved, even in romance. The culture of not being too forward applies here too. Alcohol is discussed. The legal age is 18 for bars, 20 for buying at Systembolaget, the state-run liquor store. But teens experiment anyway, usually in parks, at house parties when parents are away. The police mostly ignore small gatherings, harm reduction over punishment. Fashion becomes important. H&M, obviously. Sweden's export to the world. Cheap, trendy, acceptable. Also, vintage stores, thrift shops. Sustainability matters here, even to teens. Music tastes develop. Swedish pop dominates. This country produces hit songs for the entire world. Max Martin, the invisible hand behind half the Billboard charts, is Swedish. But teens also listen to American hip-hop, K-pop, British indie rock. Spotify's Swedish, born here in Stockholm. Music is everywhere, 15 years old. The pressure builds slightly. National tests approach. Grades matter now because they determine high school placement. But compared to other countries, still relatively low stress. Career conversations begin. Not what do you want to be, but what interests you. The system is flexible. Changing paths is normal. Summer jobs start. Working at a cafe, a grocery store, a summer camp. The money is decent. Sweden has high minimum wages, strong unions. Even teenagers benefit. Moped culture appears. At 15, a license for a small moped, EU moped, is possible. Suddenly mobility increases. Riding to friends' houses, to the next town, to the beach. Confirmation might happen. Not religious necessarily. Sweden is one of the most secular countries on earth, but cultural. A ceremony, a party, gifts. Often more about tradition than faith. 16 years old, Grundskola ends. Graduation. A ceremony with songs, speeches, diplomas. Families gather. Photos are taken. Relief and excitement mix. High school, gymnasiet, awaits. You're 16. High school starts. Gymnasiet is different. Students choose programs, academic tracks, vocational tracks, science, social studies, arts, technology, construction, healthcare. The choice shapes the next 3 years. The schools are larger, often spread across a city. Commuting becomes normal. Many students take trains or buses for an hour each way. Independence assumed. Classes are more specialised. Fewer subjects, deeper focus. For academic tracks, the rigour increases. Essays, presentations, critical thinking. For vocational tracks, hands-on training, internships, workshops, real-world skills. Teachers are still called by first names. The flat hierarchy persists, but respect is expected. Not through authority, but through mutual understanding. Fika continues. Now it's social. The cafeteria, the common room. Coffee. Real coffee now, not just for adults anymore. Swedish teens start drinking coffee around 15, 16. Weak at first, then stronger. A rite of passage. Dating evolves. Relationships last weeks. Months. Breaking up happens over text sometimes. Mature, direct, but Swedish reserved. Emotional displays are minimal even in heartbreak. Part-time jobs expand. Working weekends at a restaurant, a clothing store. The money goes to clothes, concert tickets, savings. Swedish youth are encouraged to be financially independent early. At 18, voting rights arrive. Elections happen. The engagement is real. Swedish voter turnout is high, around 85%. Even young people participate. Politics matter here, even if the conversations are calm, measured. Systembolaget access unlocks. Buying alcohol legally, but only at the state store. Bars and restaurants are still off limits until 20. The system is strange, restrictive, designed to control consumption. It works, mostly. Sweden has lower alcohol-related death than many European neighbours. Graduation approaches. 3 years gone fast. The ceremony is big, student examen, white caps, student massa, worn by graduates, trucks decorated with balloons, driving through towns with music blaring, graduates cheering, families lining streets, waving signs. The whole country celebrates in May and June. Then the question, what next? 19 years old. Gap years are common. Working, travelling, figuring things out. The pressure to choose immediately doesn't exist the same way. Some start university right away, högskola or universitet, free tuition, no debt for education. Living costs exist, but student loans through CSN are available, low interest, manageable repayment. Others work, saving money. Sweden's economy is strong, wages are high. Even entry-level jobs pay enough to survive. Moving out happens, not always. Housing shortages in cities make it hard. But the expectation is there. Independence valued over multi-generational homes. Finding an apartment is brutal. In Stockholm, the queue for rental apartments can be 10 years. Many live in shared housing, sublets, or move to smaller cities. Buying is nearly impossible without family help. This is the crack in Sweden's equality. University life begins for those who go. Lectures, seminars, independent study. The structure is loose. Attendance isn't always mandatory. Responsibility is assumed. Student nations exist, social clubs based on home regions. They organise parties, activities, traditions. A way to connect, to socialise in a reserved culture. Fika during study sessions. University libraries have cafes, coffee, cinnamon buns, textbooks. The Swedish study aesthetic. Dating continues, often through apps now. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. Swedish dating culture is famously difficult. Reserved, indirect, non-confrontational. The talk about being exclusive can take months. 22 years old, graduation again, university done, bachelor's degree in hand, or a vocational certification, or just work experience. Job hunting begins. Sweden's job market is competitive but fair. Resumes are one page. Name, education, experience, references. No photos. Age, gender, ethnicity aren't included. The goal is reducing bias. Interviews are casual. First names again. Questions about skills, experience, fit. Less about selling yourself, more about honest conversation, getting a job. The contract is usually permanent or long-term. Swedish employment law favours workers. Firing someone is difficult. Unions are strong. 70% of workers belong to one. The salary is decent. High taxes, yes. Around 30% for average earners, more for high earners. But what comes back? Healthcare, education, parental leave, pensions. The deal is visible. Work culture shocks newcomers. 8-hour days strictly. Lunch is an hour, often spent with colleagues. Fika breaks are mandatory, yes, mandatory. Mid-morning, mid-afternoon. 15 minutes to sit, drink coffee, chat. Overtime is rare. Leaving at 5 p.m. is normal, expected. Work-life balance isn't a buzzword, it's law. Vacation time, 5 weeks, minimum, by law. Most Swedes take at least 4 weeks in summer. July is when the country shuts down. Offices close, factories pause, everyone is at a summer cottage or travelling, 25 years old. Relationships become serious, living together maybe. Marriage isn't rushed. The average age for first marriage in Sweden is 33. Living together for years first, sambo, is completely normal. Having children outside marriage? Totally acceptable. Over half of Swedish children are born to unmarried parents. The stigma doesn't exist. But many wait. Careers, travel, figuring out life. Sweden's birth rate is low. The average age for first-time mothers is 29, for fathers 31. Buying a home becomes a goal. Saving for a down payment, 15% required. The market is expensive, especially in cities. But once in, mortgages are manageable. Interest rates are low. Hobbies deepen. Running, climbing, cycling, skiing. Sweden's outdoor culture is strong. Weekends mean nature. Hiking trails, frozen lakes, coastal walks. Allemansrätten still applies. Friendships solidify. The friends from high school, university, work. Swedes don't make friends easily, but once made, they last. Social life revolves around small gatherings, dinner parties at someone's apartment. Bring wine, bring beer. Conversation, food, maybe board games. Large parties are rare. Intimacy over crowds. You're 30 now. Settled somewhat. Career progression happens. Not fast. Swedish workplace culture isn't cutthroat. Promotions come with time, competence, but not aggressive ambition. Jantelagen, the law of Jante, still applies. Don't think you're special. Don't boast. Fit in. Salary. Increases are negotiated, often through unions. Annual reviews happen. Raises are modest but consistent. Job security is high. Layoffs happen but with advance notice. Severance, retraining support. The safety net is strong. Parental leave hits again. If children arrive, suddenly those 480 days make sense. Splitting with a partner, taking months off, bonding with the child, work waits. Legally it has to. Employers can't fire someone for taking parental leave. Discrimination is illegal. The culture supports it. Fathers taking leave is normal now. Common, expected. Returning to work after leave is smooth. Part-time options available. The system bends. Meanwhile, housing stabilizes. Maybe a house now, outside the city, or a larger apartment. Space for a family, for life. 35 years old. Kids are in school, Grundskola again. The cycle repeats. Dropping them off, maybe. Or they bike themselves. Independence passed down. Work continues. The rhythm is steady. Meetings, projects, fika, lunch, home by 5. Sometimes earlier. Working from home is common now. Was even before the pandemic. Commuting is manageable. Public transport is reliable. Trains, buses, bike lanes. Driving exists but isn't necessary in cities. Car ownership is lower than in many countries. The seasons dominate life. Winter means darkness, candles, indoor hobbies. Spring means relief. Summer means explosion. Outdoor life, travel, the cottage if there is one. Mental health is discussed. Therapy is available, affordable. Taking sick leave for stress or burnout is accepted. The stigma is lower than many places. Alcohol consumption is moderate. Friday nights might mean wine with dinner, Fredagsmys, Cozy Friday. Takeout pizza or tacos, candy, a movie, a family tradition. Low-key, but cherished. Swedes buy more candy per capita than almost anyone. Saturday is candy day, Lauda's goddess. A tradition from when sweets were rationed to once a week. The habit stuck. 40 years old, midlife. Stable, usually. Career peak, maybe. Or coasting. Ambition is personal. Relationships are long-term now. Married or sambo. Divorce happens. Sweden has one of the highest divorce rates in Europe, but it's civil. Shared custody is default. The system tries to be fair. Children are teenagers. The independence loop completes. Less hands-on parenting. More guiding from a distance. Health becomes a focus. Swedes are active. Running, gym memberships, cycling. Not obsessive, but consistent. The culture values fitness. Not for aesthetics, but for longevity. Annual checkups happen. Healthcare is accessible. Wait times can be long for non-urgent issues, but emergencies are handled fast. Diet is relatively healthy. Fish, vegetables, whole grains. Also, meatballs, cream sauces, cinnamon buns. Balance, again. Legum applies to food too. Coffee consumption is astronomical. Sweden is in the top 5 globally. Multiple cups a day, always during fika. Sometimes alone, often with colleagues. 45 years old. Reflections begin. What's next? 20 years of work left, maybe more. Retirement at 65, but many work longer. Travel increases. Charter trips to Thailand, Spain, Greece. Swedes travel more than almost any nationality. Escaping winter is common. Summer cottages see more use. Renovations, time spent. The Swedish dream isn't a mansion, it's a small red cottage by a lake. Friendships deepen. Book clubs, running groups, cooking groups. Social connections maintained through shared activities. Loneliness is a risk. Sweden has high rates of single-person households. Nearly 40% live alone. By choice often, but isolation creeps in. The welfare state helps. Programs for social connection, community centres, activities. But the culture is reserved. Reaching out is hard. 50 years old. Halfway through life statistically. Sweden has one of the highest life expectancies, around 83 years. Work continues, but thoughts of retirement appear. Pensions are robust. 3-tiered system. Public pension, occupational pension, private savings. The system works if contributions were steady. Empty nest might happen. Children moving out, starting their own lives. The apartment feels bigger, quieter. Some downsize. Selling the house, moving to an apartment. Less maintenance, more freedom. Hobbies expand. Woodworking, painting, gardening. The long summer days allow it. Volunteering starts. Helping at schools, community centres, libraries. Giving back is valued. Health issues appear. Nothing major yet, but checkups catch things. High blood pressure, cholesterol, managed with medication, lifestyle changes. The bicycle remains still the primary transport, even at 50. even in snow. You're 60 now, retirement in sight. The countdown begins. 5 years, maybe less. Some leave early, some stay late. The choice is personal. Work eases, fewer responsibilities sometimes, training younger colleagues, sharing knowledge. The flat hierarchy means mentorship is natural. Grandchildren might arrive. The role is different here. Involved but not overbearing. Helping with pickups, babysitting occasionally. But parents are independent. The system supports them. 65 years old, retirement, the pension kicks in. Public pension, guaranteed. Occupational pension, from years of work. Private savings, if they exist. The amount varies. Average is around 60-70% of previous salary. Livable, but not lavish. Time expands. Suddenly the days are open. No meetings. No fika at the office. Well, still fika. But at home, routines develop. Morning walks, reading, hobbies, grandchildren visits, trips to the library, social activities through pensioner groups, organised outings, classes, exercise groups. The municipality offers programs. Healthcare becomes more frequent. Doctor visits, checkups. The system handles it. Prescriptions are capped. No one pays more than a certain amount per year. 70 years old, slowing down maybe, but not stopped. The bicycle might be electric. Now, L-cycle, pedal assist. Easier on the knees but still active. Daily life is simple. Breakfast, coffee, walks, lunch, often a small meal, dinner, traditional dishes, simple preparation. Technology is used. Smartphones, tablets. Swedes in their 70s are online. Banking, news, staying connected. Digital literacy is high, even among the elderly. Family visits, children and grandchildren. Holidays together. Midsummer, Christmas. The traditions continue. Loneliness is a risk again. Spouses die. Friends pass. The social circle shrinks. Sweden struggles with elderly isolation. Programs exist. Companionship services. Group activities. But reaching out is hard. The reserved culture works against it. 75 years old. Health issues increase. Mobility challenges. Maybe a cane now or a walker. But independence is fiercely guarded. Home care services help. Nurses visiting, helping with medication, cleaning. The goal is to keep people in their homes as long as possible. Elderly housing, Trygghetsboende, is an option. Apartments designed for seniors, accessible with staff nearby, but still independent living. Nursing homes, Äldreboende, are the last resort. When care needs are high, the quality varies but is generally good. Staff trained, facilities clean. The bicycle might be gone now. Walking instead. Shorter distances. Or a mobility scooter, more common than people think. Daily routines shrink. The apartment, the neighbourhood, the local store. Life becomes smaller but still lived. 80 years old. Still here, still going. Morning walks continue, slower. Maybe just to the park bench, sitting, watching. Life moving around. Coffee still, always coffee. Maybe at a cafe now. A small outing, a connection to the world. Memories are strong. Childhood, youth, work, family. Stories told to grandchildren. The long life, the full life. Health is managed. Multiple medications, regular checkups. The system supports it. No one is abandoned. Technology keeps connections alive. Video calls with family, photos shared, the distance closed by screens. Sweden's elderly are visible, not hidden away. Cycling, yes, even at 80, some still do. Walking with determination. Shopping, attending cultural events. The culture respects age. Seats on buses are offered. Patience in lines. Kindness usually, but also independence respected. Not coddled, capable until proven otherwise. 85 and beyond. The final years. Slower, quieter. Care increases. More help needed. Home care daily maybe. Or a nursing home now. Family visits. Children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. The generations connected. Memories are cherished. Photos on the wall. A lifetime in Sweden. The seasons cycled through 85 times. The snow, the sun, the rain. The bicycle is long gone, but the memory of it remains. The freedom, the independence, the Swedish way. Death comes eventually. At home, ideally. Or in hospice. Palliative care is advanced. Pain managed. Dignity preserved. Funerals are simple, non-religious often, a ceremony, some music, words spoken. Cremation is common, ashes scattered in nature or buried. The cycle completes. This is what it means. To be born Swedish, to live Swedish, to age Swedish, independence from the start, the state supporting but not smothering, education, healthcare, security, the foundation solid, equality as a goal, imperfect but pursued. The gaps exist: wealth, housing, opportunity, but the effort is real. Nature woven through everything, the forests, the lakes, the seasons, Allemansrätten not just a law but a philosophy, belonging to the land, reserved but not cold, the friendships deep if few, the conversations quiet but meaningful. Work-life balance not a dream but a structure. Fika not a break but a ritual. 5 weeks of vacation not a luxury but a right. The bicycle as transport, exercise, symbol. Riding at 6, riding at 80. The independence, the sustainability, the Swedish practicality. Longevity earned, healthcare accessible, lifestyle active, diet balanced, stress managed. But also loneliness lurking. The single-person households, the reserved culture making connection hard, the darkness of winter affecting minds. The contradictions exist: a welfare state with housing crises, a progressive society with immigrant integration struggles, an equal system with growing inequality, but also a society that tries, that values the collective while respecting the individual, that plans for the future while living in the present. Sweden, 10 million people, long winters, short summers, bicycle lanes and cinnamon buns and endless coffee. This is the hidden life. Not perfect, not utopian, real. From birth in a clean hospital to the final bicycle ride, from the first fika to the last. This is what it means. This is Sweden.